Show. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a Notre Dame destroys Stanford. And it was good for my blood pressure. And I really appreciate that for once. Edition of the Always Irish Show. Hey, the voice is still struggling. I appreciate you sticking with me. The voice is hurting for certain. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss anything. Twitter, search bar Always Irish Rat. Always Irishing. Emails alwaysirishnD@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. If you don't want to see my face, ain't nobody going to blame you for that. Call in lines 312-900-8815. Light it up. Tell Uncle Johnny. All you heard and seen. Oh, man, the voice is just about out. Don't forget about patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain, leading tackler Mike Goolsby, his teammate Jared Clark. We're breaking it all down behind the paywall. It's a beautiful thing. Those guys let it rip over there. And don't forget about Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by SI. We do a good job there, too. All-star staff. Everybody has a little niche, a little role. What they like to write about. It's a beautiful blend over there. Thanks for everybody who's reading the articles. All right. Here's my thought about this Stanford game. This outcome, 49-7. This isn't Purdue. Like, Stanford's got more going for it than Purdue, whatever. I don't look at that the same. For where this team is at, for the way they've been playing, the way they're operating, all the injuries, everything you got to consider. This is about as good as you could expect from Notre Dame. And I'm happy with the output today. So, getting into this post-bye situation where I look at it as 7 games in a row, and you got to win all 7 to make the playoff. And I don't care if they're pretty, ugly, whatever. You got to grind out and fight it and do whatever you got to do to win these 7 games. Coming out of the break and winning by this margin, you could build off that. You could build off that. And I know some negative people are going to say, John, they're a really bad team. We were favored by 23.5. What's the big deal that you beat their doors off? Well, we were huge favorites at home against Northern Illinois as well, and we didn't beat their doors off. So, like, it's like, I know they're bad. This scores what happens when you play somebody bad. So I'm giving our team credit for doing what you're supposed to do in this situation. And we haven't always done it this year. So to see us do it, good job. Good job. So I think you can build off this. And I'm really happy with it. Good job. It was just, you guys, it was really nice to just, the second half wasn't so stressful. You could relax a little bit. Like, you got to see other guys play. It just wasn't this drive-to-drive aneurysm stressful thing where you feel like the whole world's going to fall out from underneath your feet every 2 minutes. It was just nice to have a second half you didn't have to really worry about. Now, so I'm proud of the guys. Freeman still hasn't lost a game after a bye, after a break. Good job on that. It was about as good as you could have expected. I will say this, though. The slow starts at home, I hate. And I don't understand, and I'm not okay with it, and it's not okay. And I don't understand it, and I just hate it. I just hate it. And you did it again today. And I know I just said we won 49-7. I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. I am. But man, this is a trend. Every one of these home games, you start out slow, and most of them you're able to come back and win by multiple scores, except for the one you didn't. Except for the one you didn't, right? The one everybody's calling maybe the worst loss in school history. You didn't overcome that slow start. So I'm extremely frustrated with that. And I was hoping maybe after the bye, I was just hoping for a reboot, a reset. Things will be different, like a different way to approach it. And you ended up down 7-0 at home to a team you're a 23.5-point favorite to. And I know you ended up blowing them out and coming back, whatever. But it's just, I don't understand what is not going on during the week of practice or the messaging or whatever. What is happening or not happening to the extent that it doesn't really matter who the opponent is. You're playing bad to start the game. And I literally mean it doesn't matter the opponent. Northern Illinois, this team. The other ones. Like, it's so weird to me. All of our turnovers we've had on offense have happened at home. Like, this is happening. Did you guys see that stat? All of the turnovers we've had have happened at home. I just don't understand. I don't understand why there isn't this home field advantage, force field. We're going to play good at home, come out gangbusters out of that tunnel. It's just not happening. And again, most of the time you've been able to overcome it. Not all the time. And you paid dearly for the one you weren't able to overcome, right? So good job. You blew them out. You came back, whatever. I am having a hard time understanding why you're starting out so slow. All right. Let's get into a couple things I like here a lot. Number one is, after the way that defense looked, giving up the initial drive they gave up that let Stanford score, great job the rest of the day. Like, it's really that simple. And we've seen this before, where Notre Dame takes a while to get started defensively and they don't start out that sharp and it looks bad, and then they tighten it up. So I hate that the first drive you're giving up a touchdown and letting them have hope and momentum and all that. They didn't give up diddly poo the rest of the day. Look at this. Passing 87 yards. Rushing 113 yards. Like, I mean, you didn't give up really much of anything. And you know what else? Good job on that, especially since half of our defense is in the hospital or a morgue. Good job, because you're banged, you're beat to hell. You're all banged up. You know, you're in a bad spot, you know, injury-wise on this football team. So really, really good job not giving up anything after that 7. I'm proud of them for that. So I really liked that. Here's what else I liked, okay? And you could disagree or not think this is a big deal, whatever. All week, building up to this game, I was talking about how bad Stanford's pass defense was. I think I had that efficiency number, like 122 out of 130 or whatever. And then they had injuries and they're banged up. I realized their pass defense is horrible. I want to credit Notre Dame for doing what you should do against a horrible pass defense. Put up good passing numbers. And Notre Dame has not done that week in and week out this year. Good job. Good job. I know you didn't do it against Georgia's defense, or like, I know that. But for this moment, for the remaining 6 games, even though they suck at defending the pass, throwing it on them. Okay? Good job. I hope we could gain some confidence out of that. So let's look at it. 16 of 22 for 229 and 3 touchdowns for Leonard. Best day passing in a Notre Dame uniform. You know, it ain't air raid numbers. It isn't magical, but that's about as good as it gets for us. Here's what else I like. Notre Dame receiving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 guys had receptions. Here's what I really like. Chris Mitchell, touchdown. Jaden Thomas, touchdown. Tight end, Eli Reardon, touchdown. I love that. Build those guys' confidence. All of those guys need to be more involved in the offense. They need to get more ingratiated in the offense. They need to make more plays in the offense. They need to. Those are all guys that need to get more involved in the passing game. And I love seeing it happen today. And it's like, John, this pass defense is bad. This is what's the big deal? Whatever. These guys need to build confidence. They're 18 to 22 years old. They need to gain confidence. And output like this, even against a bad team, is a big deal. You don't think Chris Mitchell feels better about his role on this team after scoring a touchdown? You don't think Eli Reardon has a little pep in his step getting in the end zone on that drag route? Good job. Good job. Running the ball, 229 yards, spread out pretty evenly, between Love and Price. Again, Love, 6 carries. That's low to me. Like, I know they want to balance it out or whatever. 6 is low to me. I don't know if they felt like they didn't need him as much to beat Stanford and they were resting him, but you're coming off the bye. So I don't really buy that. So 6 carries isn't enough for me, for him, whatever. Price, 12. Kedron Young, 7. Man, I'm telling you, this running back room looks good, doesn't it? But I like seeing that 229 yards. And listen, I like seeing any of this stuff you could do behind our offensive line that's still banged up. You know, the Napper, sometimes he's okay. Sometimes he looks totally overwhelmed out there and is in trouble. It's just, I just think it's just going to be frustrating with that line the rest of the way. I don't see any other way. I just think it's going to be frustrating. So I just think this was something you could build momentum off of. And there's something different when you blow out a team. It activates something different within a program. When you eliminate a team's will to exist and you just totally hammer them. No matter how bad they are, that's something different for you to be good enough to be able to get up by enough that you're able to hammer them that way. So I think there's a lot of momentum that could be built out of this, and I love it. You know what my favorite play of the game was? Burnham. When he got in that pitch lane, tipped the ball, and then caught it. The athleticism that shows, the vision that shows to get in that crease, get in that lane. I love all that. And then here's the other reason I love it. One is I'm happy he's back and he's healthy and all that. But the other thing is, look at what we have coming. You got Navy coming up in a couple of weeks. Seeing this guy jet into one of those pitch lanes and all that and being as long as he is and getting that ball, that gives me some confidence about what's coming down the road too. Because you're going to need to disrupt those pitch lanes and all that when you play these academies. So that was my favorite play of the game by far. But it did feel good. See Notre Dame throw the ball around a little bit more than we're used to. Open it up a little bit. It just looked a little bit more like what a real life passing attack should look like. It looked way more like that. And I'm here for that. I'm here for that. So what do you got coming up? Here's the way I look at this. You have 6 unique battles coming up. You are right at the halfway point. The bye was a little bit before the halfway point. You have another bye coming up. You're going to have 6 really unique battles. Honestly, Virginia is the only one I don't have an angle for. This Georgia Tech's going to be a tricky game in Atlanta, in that dome. That's going to be tricky. Both of the academies are going to be weird to play. They're having good years. They have good offenses. They both can throw the ball a little bit. You all know what goes into those academy games. If you're Notre Dame, how you got to win them. Those are tough. Then you have the brand names, Florida State and USC, both down and out. Telling you, I'm not taking Florida State for granted at our place. And right when they're down and out, watch them rise up. And I don't care how many losses USC has. Bad one to Penn State. They gave that game away just like they gave the Michigan game away. Notre Dame does not play the best going out to the Coliseum in that last game of the year. It's a tough, for some reason, we have a tough time getting going out there. I'm taking nothing for granted. This team's beat up with injuries. You need to fight, scratch, and claw just to win another week, cross it off the board. Win another week, cross it off the board. Win another week, cross it off the board. That's Notre Dame's mission right now. 6 unique battles. I'm not even worried about how pretty they are. You just got to find a way to win these games. Best possible outcome, I think you got it today. A big blowout, confidence for the passing game growing a little bit. That's probably my biggest takeaway. Even though Stanford's defense is really, really bad against the pass, you were able to see more in the passing game than we've been able to do most of these weeks. That is progress. And I think something you're going to need to go 6-0 the rest of the way is a more robust passing game. You started to see a little bit more of it today. Good job by everybody involved coming out of the bye, getting a big win against the team you should beat. Good job. Now you get ready to go into this dome in Atlanta and fight it out and get another win next week on the road. Let's go. 6-0. That's what we need.